This is a story of 45 Wimberley Estates Drive. This is my latest listing and it's closing today, and I'm so excited for my sellers. So let me tell you the story of how this one went from listing appointment to getting actually on the market, and then once we had the contract, and today to closing. So this particular listing was actually a broker referral, and shout out to Leslie Perez in San Diego, California. Thank you so much for entrusting me with helping your clients. This particular couple was getting ready to move back to California, and we had timelines not only for a job transfer to meet, but also because houses were being sold in California and a house was being purchased. So it was a coordinated effort between Leslie's team and myself to go ahead and make all of the timelines work together. So when I originally came out and met with the sellers, we sat down and we talked about, one, where the market is currently, two, things that would need to be done or things we needed to consider before getting the house on the market, and three, we talked about where we are in terms of price and where we might want to be in terms of how we wanted to get this house on the market and take it to market. So when we initially sat down, one of my big things I talked about was the fact that this house had actually been the model home for the builder when they purchased it originally 5 years ago. And so for that reason, when I walked in, it still had a model home feel about it. It was actually staged pretty beautifully. But as we go through the process of talking about the listing, you'll know that I did go ahead and have my staging company come out and take a look. But we sat down, we talked about the different maintenance type items to still consider having done before the house listed. For example, let's go ahead and have the septic pumped if you haven't had that done. Making sure the termite bond was still on the house. And then also, had the HVAC been recently serviced? We talked about those three things. Additionally, we also talked about the fact that even though this had been a model home, originally the builder made the choice not to upgrade those secondary bathroom countertops. I suggested, based on where we wanted to be with price, that we go ahead and consider making that adjustment, which the sellers were agreeable to doing. So we did go in and put granite in the secondary bathrooms of this house. So once we had sat down and agreed on the price and where we wanted to be, that's when we went ahead and talked about what our market strategy, going to market strategy would be. Of course, we came in, I did have Chad and Stacy come back in and do a consultation from setting the stage. Staging company, they came in, they did a consultation, made some suggestions. Of course, I had Tyler Willis out here from Willis Media doing the professional photos and really capturing the beauty of this property. And we also talked about what we wanted to do as far as open houses. So, and one more thing too. We did a walkthrough video of the house and then also went back and highlighted about 5 to 10 things that I really wanted buyers to know about this property when they started to put it on their list to take a look at. So with all of those things in place and ready to go ahead and hit the market, we did an open house first weekend out, and we did have several people come and look. We also did a broker open house just to go ahead and get everyone's opinion on price and to see how they felt like we were stacking up against the market competition. So we had really consistent traffic with this one. This house probably averaged about 2 to 3 showings a week. We ended up getting an offer about 3 weeks in. And the interesting thing about that is this house had been on the watch list for a couple different buyers, and it had also been in the top 3, but nobody else had written an offer yet. People were waiting for whatever reason. And so once I got this one under contract, I had a few people reach out and say, hey, would they consider a backup offer, or let us know what happens if your offer doesn't work out. Well, we had a great buyer co-op, and we also had a fantastic buyer. We made it through the inspection process. We made it through appraisal. We had no issues there either. And we all complete from the first time I met with these buyers until today. We actually got this house sold and under contract and everything in about 2 months, which, given where we are in our market, that's pretty good right now. The other part of all of this process was we were working with the agents in California the whole time, just having really good open communication on what was happening with the Georgia transaction and then also what was happening in California. So what that allowed my sellers to do is seamlessly get this house closed, and they're on their way to California, so they'll be able to close there and begin their new chapter. So if you have been thinking about buying or selling and you want to sit down and start that strategy session, whether it's for the end of 2025 or the beginning of 2026, I'd love the opportunity to sit down with you and have that conversation. You can send me a DM, you can send me an email, you can also text me. I would love the opportunity to sit down with you.